I've pretty much always known what I wanted out of life. I've always had my values and my interests, the things that I was passionate about. And I've known what they were, yet for the majority of my life, I wasn't really pursuing them in the best way that I could. And the reason that I wasn't pursuing things that I was passionate about, like creativity or adventure or entrepreneurship, I suppose we could say, is because I didn't want to deal with the uncertainty that came with pursuing them. You see, life is laid out before you for most of us. We're told the steps to take, and we're told that those steps lead to a certain place. And they do. I mean, school leads to more school, which leads to college, which leads to a job, which leads to income, which leads to savings, which leads to a house, which leads to a family with kids and possibly retirement. Those are the steps that we're told. And since we're told those things, we're told that by parents, teachers, people that are older than us, we believe it to be true because they should know. I mean, they've been alive longer. They've got more experience than you or I. And so we don't really question it. The truth is, we don't actually know if that path is as certain as it's made out to be. It certainly seems in this day and age that the times are changing, and school and college and jobs, people are staying in jobs less. People are not going to college at all, and they're doing very well for themselves. So it seems that the correlation that we previously assumed to be there isn't there anymore. If I look at my life, the main factor that prevented me from doing what I wanted to do. Now, I'm an artistic person. I'm a musician. I'm a video creator. I have a business where I help other people with their creative endeavors. And I've gotten to a place where I've learned a few lessons, and it's interesting. If I had the opportunity to speak to my younger self, I could probably get here a lot faster with what I know now, of course. But I'd like to instill some of my insights around all of this with the intention to help you pursue what it is that you're wanting to pursue, to help you embark on that journey of uncertainty that so many of us fear, that I feared. And it's really interesting because even now, having made grand strides in my own life, in my opinion, relative to my younger self, I'm still on this journey of uncertainty. And I've been blessed to meet a lot of people that I am inspired by that are still on this journey of uncertainty. Just this week, I met with 5 or 6 different business owners or people that are on their own entrepreneurial journey. And the conversations that I was having were so exciting, but not quite for the reasons you might imagine. It was exciting because I realized that the space that I'm in, the space of not really knowing what's going on, is the same place that people that are 10 times more successful, 100 times more successful than I am, are in. I'm having conversations with people who are terrified about what next week holds, despite them, in my opinion, being so far ahead of me and most people. And it's really interesting because before I had done anything as an artist or as a creative or a business owner, I just thought that something would click one day and I would up level. But as it turns out, that's not really the case, because the way that I feel now is not a whole lot dissimilar to how I felt 2 years ago. And I don't think it's a whole lot dissimilar to how I'm going to feel in 5 years. And it seems to be the same case with all of these amazing people that are surrounding me. They have success. They have a great skill set. They have a lot of value to share, and that they do share, yet they still have the same fear, the same feeling of doubt, the same questions that we all have as people. And so the mistake that I made, and that maybe you're making, and a lot of us make, I think, is that we refuse to embark on that journey of uncertainty, because if we embark on that journey of uncertainty, we don't know what's going to be at the end of it, and we hate that. We're not afraid of things that we know. We're afraid of the thing that we don't know. We don't know what's in the dark. We don't know what's on the path up ahead. It could be terrible for our finances, but it could be great. But we can't have the great outcome if we don't put ourselves open to the negative outcome, which isn't even negative, which we'll get to in a moment. So as I was meeting with these people and having these conversations, I was perplexed because the conversations I was having seemed to be impacting me, but also the other person. So I'm staring at these people that are doing very well for themselves. I think they're tenfolds ahead of me. Most of them were quite a bit older than me as well. And they seem to be getting value in what I was saying, which is very strange because my mind still says that I'm a loser from time to time and that I'm an imposter and I shouldn't be talking to these people or that I shouldn't be getting paid for this or that. Yet these people are having the same thoughts, even though they're 10, 20, 30, 40 years ahead of me in business and in life. So the takeaway here is that regardless of what stage you get to, the uncertainty doesn't go away, the doubt does not go away. If you're waiting for doubt to leave before you take a leap, you're never going to take that leap because the doubt is never going to go. We get better at navigating it, but it's just a part of us. It's a part of our human experience. You see, the funny thing is that the success, what we call success, can only ever really come after a lot of failure, a lot of getting lost in that uncertainty and ending up somewhere that we didn't want to go. If you're starting a business with the sole intention of making money, then you're going to run into problems because most likely you're not going to make money right away. And if money is the metric for your success as to whether or not something is working at the early stages and it's not happening, then you're very likely to just stop and give up. If you're starting a content creation journey, for example, and you make something for like 6 months, you make a video every week, and then nothing happens after 6 months, you might just stop, which is fine if you don't actually want to be making content. Going for money is a good way to figure out if something is actually something you're passionate about or not, because if you do stop before the money starts coming in, it's an indication that it's not something that you're interested in anyway. Because the beginnings of a journey in any business needs to come from that inner fire, that passion within for something. And yeah, of course, there's practicalities to it and you want to be profitable, but the money that you get is a representation of the value that you give. And if you are giving value, that will be reciprocated in the form of money or some other sort of exchange. And if you're not getting money, it's because you haven't given the value yet, or the value has not been perceived, which is a marketing issue. So marketing is an interesting one. It can be because you haven't actually put yourself out there enough, or it could just be a timing thing. So there's like nuance in that, and you learn that along the way by speaking to other people or by observing what worked and what didn't work. Maybe in your 6 months, like one particular video did well, and so you can think, well, what was it about that video that did well? And then you can double down on that and try again. You really need to ask yourself, what's the thing that you would do if you knew everything was going to work out? Because that is the thing that you probably want to do. Like for me, the thing that I would do, even if it never worked out, is I would always write songs. I would always tell stories. I would always create and perform and speak whatever's on my mind. That's just what I want. I just want to impact people. And the way that I do that is through my artistry. And once you've honed in on that thing that you know is your thing, it's just a matter of doing the thing and telling people about the thing that you're doing. Like, I naturally just talk about what I like talking about when I'm around people because that's just who I am. It's what I do. And then people can pick up on that. And if they want to be engaged with that, then they can. At one of my meetings during the week, I was just talking about what I do here, making videos on YouTube, and that was of interest to the person. And then that led to a potential client engagement. And that's just marketing in its most organic and pure sense. But a lot of the time I say what I do and nobody cares. Or maybe they care, but they're not interested in, proceeding any further. And that's fine. We need to do our best to just make people aware of us and what we're doing and what our gifts are. And when you do that, you attract the right friends, the right community, you attract the right business partners, you attract revenue, you attract the ideal living situation, the ideal community vibe that you're looking for. And when you have that, then you're living a full life because you're financially looked after, you're mentally looked after, your spiritual health is looked after. Everything is looked after when you identify that core thing within you and then start projecting that into the world and sharing that. You don't have to be pushy about it. You don't have to be incredibly confident about it. But just a little bit here and there goes a long way. And as you cultivate it within yourself, then you get the opportunity to connect with other people and bounce ideas off of other people and collaborate. That introduces a whole other thing around feeling inferior. So that's what I was saying earlier about how I'm around people that I think are incredible, but then they don't feel as incredible as I perceive them to be. And it's so interesting because we might count ourselves out of a certain person's company or a certain person's business because we think, oh, they wouldn't want to talk to me. Like just the other day, I have a song I've been working on, and I love to share my song with other producers and people in the music industry to get their feedback to see what I could improve, or like what do they think of the concept, like is it good, is it bad, should I just scrap it? And there's a friend of mine who I really valued his opinion, and I really wanted to hear what he thought of my song, so I sent it to him, and it had been a while and I hadn't heard back from him, and I thought, oh, maybe he heard the song and he just thought it was garbage and he didn't want to tell me. And I said, yeah, I'll just leave him. But then I thought to myself, well, if he thinks it's garbage, I want to know, because I'm not here to make the best song ever right now, but in order to make the best song ever someday, I need to know if this is garbage. Because if this is garbage and I think it's good, then we've got a bit of an issue. There's a bit of a disillusionment there with reality. So I said, you know what? I'm willing to hear that this is garbage. I'm going to get back in touch and just say, look, I value your opinion. I'd love to hear what you have to say. And I heard back, and it was actually really positive feedback. And it gave me a lot more confidence in what I was doing with the song. And if I hadn't embraced that mindset of the learner, which is like an anti-fragile mindset, because if you are just committed to learning, what do people that learn do? They fail a lot. So every failure, you're going to say, yes, I failed. And what comes from failure? Growth, lessons. And that's how we cultivate expertise. And we're always going to be cultivating that. So if you want anything in life, the best way to get that thing is to just start throwing darts, throwing spaghetti at the wall, as Canadians say. I think the rest of the world just say throwing mud at the wall and hope something sticks. And the things that stick, pursue them. And maybe that stops sticking after a while, and then you can pursue something else. But no matter what stage you get to, you're going to have some sort of learning to do. You're going to be always finding new hang-ups or niggles in your being. And you just have to deal with that. Like the numbers might change in the bank account. The house size might change. The relationship you have might change. But you are still you. You're still a human. And all of these things on the outside, they're fun and they're always coming and going, but they're not going to really change you. That's an inside job. There's just too many things that we don't pursue because we don't know what's going to happen. And that's a surefire way to stay where you are. You know, if you want to choose a path of certainty and work for somebody, or, you know, just perpetually be in school in an education system that maybe is a bit outdated, you're never going to reach your potential. Because your potential can't exist within those limited paradigms. If you're waiting to be pre-approved before you go and ask someone out, or before you go and ask someone for that opportunity, or before you go and try a new cookie recipe, if you're just waiting to see if the cookies are going to turn out good before you start making them, you're never going to find out if they turn out good. And I know it's scary, but really, all you need to do to get closer to what you want is something, like vaguely in that direction. And you'll probably get lots of rejections. The guy or the girl will say no. The job you apply for, you'll be turned down. Your business will fail. Nobody will watch your videos. People will tell you that your paintings are terrible. That's fine. Because so long as you're willing and committed to learning, all of that is going to provide incredibly valuable feedback for you to continue forth and cultivate and build that vision for yourself, for your life, and for those around you. I hope you found this video helpful. Thanks so much for being here. Like the video, leave a comment, subscribe. My newsletter is in the description. You can sign up there. There's also a free meditation there for confidence and empowerment. Until next time, I hope you have a beautiful, beautiful day. Bye.